Good evening. I'm Marcela Melara. I'm a computer science major and a senior here at HWS. I'm introducing ELARA, your environmental liaison and automated recycling assistant. Let me first give you some background and motivation for this project. Here's the reality. Recycling and waste sorting can be very confusing. We've all been in this place where we have an item we would like to throw out, but we're not sure which bin it belongs in. Let's take this coffee cup, for example. It's made of cardboard and it has a plastic lid. Does that make it recyclable? Because both of these materials are recyclable. Or maybe the cardboard is biodegradable, so it belongs in the compost. Or maybe it's neither, because it's been contaminated with coffee, and it belongs in the landfill. Either way, I'm confused, and I have a line of people standing behind me waiting to do the same thing. So I just toss it in the landfill. There is no straightforward, uniform system for recycling. We hear different approaches from different sources. The consequence is that a lot of people end up not recycling, and many recyclable materials end up in landfills, further harming our environment. We're told repeatedly that we need to lead a sustainable life to help future generations and the planet. It's our Going Green mission. Many people are willing to increase their recycling rate, and institutions and businesses want to improve their image as green companies, but they don't know how to do this effectively. People want to give back to the community by recycling and sorting their waste, but unclear recycling procedures stand in the way. It is for this reason that I designed ELARA. I first came across waste sorting while growing up in Germany, where I lived for 11 years. People sort their waste as a way of life. When I came back to the States, I realized that recycling and sorting waste is not a common practice. Even though we have made some progress in terms of recycling, we still find a culture where environmentally friendly habits are not central to people's lives. I'm committed to using my computer science skills and passion for the environment to help improve our current situation. This is the concept behind my design for ELARA. This is my solution. It is comprised of two major elements. First, I've designed a networked kiosk to help users sort their waste correctly and recycle more. It has a user-friendly touchscreen and barcode scanner for quick and easy waste item identification. When users approach the kiosk, they log in and scan their item. The kiosk will then tell them which slot to insert their item into. The software will record each transaction. This is a graphic of the kiosk, and I'm currently developing a prototype. The second component is the engaging online community, where users can register, view their recycling progress, and share their stories with other ELARA users. By having their own account, users will be able to track their personal recycling history. Here are the key features of ELARA. ELARA is a repeatable and scalable system because it will be hosted on a cloud server. The software running on the kiosk is easy and flexible because it can be easily customized to fit the needs of the hosting venue. But what is most appealing about ELARA and what sets it apart from its competitors in the current market is the no reject policy. This means that non-recyclable items like landfill garbage and compostables are accepted and can be disposed of properly. And last but not least, ELARA has a loyalty program that will keep the users hooked. Because of these key features, ELARA clearly has the potential to become a sustainable business. I'm proposing the following business model. ELARA needs affiliates, who are organizations interested in environmentally friendly practices. These businesses want to improve their image as green companies, instill green habits within their employees and customers, and gain prestige in the marketplace. These affiliates would pay a licensing fee for the use of the ELARA kiosk and software. The other important constituents are strategic partners. Strategic partners are companies who support and engage in sustainable practices. These are companies which primarily sell green products to an environmentally conscious customer. ELARA would sell advertising space on its website to these companies in exchange for their participation in the loyalty program. The loyalty program is called ELARA Points. Users accumulate points through the frequent use of ELARA and then get rewards, such as coupons, from strategic partners. The online community also serves as a platform for users to track their accumulated points. There are many benefits for users and business partners alike. Businesses benefit from an additional place for advertising and from better waste management at their venues. ELARA is first and foremost an educational tool that provides a great learning experience for its users because it increases their awareness about the decisions they make when they're recycling. On top of that, users also get rewards for their good recycling practices. What's not to like about that? These incentives encourage people to engage more in recycling and increase the recycling rates in their community. Let me tell you where ELARA is now. I have a working kiosk software prototype that is accessible online. I developed this program last summer. Currently, I have 3 major components under development. I'm working on finishing the user-friendly kiosk software, as well as the assembly of the hardware for the prototype and the ELARA website. I'm the sole designer and programmer of ELARA, with some help from my honors project advisor. The next steps in the progress of establishing ELARA are crucial, and this is why I need the grant. My next steps will be to complete the prototype so I can release it for beta testing. I need to register the patent for my kiosk to secure my intellectual property. And with these 2 stages completed, I can find a launch partner to be my first affiliate. The current plan is to work together with HWS, as students and staff members already know the concept of sorting waste, so the transition to ELARA would be much smoother. Furthermore, I also need to migrate my system to a hosted server and finalize the business model. More long-term future plans for ELARA are the development of a smartphone app. Smartphones have become such a commonplace technology that ELARA can take advantage of in many ways. I also need to secure my primary investment sources, that is, find investors for ELARA. With them, I can build a team of specialists who can convert ELARA into the eco-technology business that I envision. Through the execution of my proposed business model, they can create a sustainable company. Lastly, I would like to acknowledge those people who have been vital in the creation of ELARA. I could not be standing here without all their help and advice. I want to give special thanks to my honors project advisor, Professor John Vaughn, who has supported me all along the way. And I also want to give many, many thanks to my pitch mentor, Reed Jackson, without whom I could have not made it this far in the pitch. In conclusion, ELARA is the embodiment of both my passion for technology and the environment. ELARA gives more to the users, and with this project, I'm putting my ideas into action to help others do their part to help the environment. Thank you.
Terry?
Sure. Nice presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
One question I had both in reading the business plan and also in your presentation, I wasn't quite clear why the retailer, how much does he or she spend for the product, and why do they, I understand the ecological case for it. I don't quite yet see the business case for it. Do I get a return on my investment because capital is scarce? How can I justify it from a return on capital perspective?
Yeah, the idea is that the businesses that will purchase the kiosks, like you said, have this desire to become more green companies and gain prestige. But through purchasing this, they can also attract more customers who are interested in these practices. And that's another great incentive for those businesses to purchase ELARA.
And the purchase price is approximately a couple $1,000s.
The prototype right now costs around $1,200.
Yeah, the purchase price for the retailer. What would it cost them?
I'm getting there. It's going to be around, if I was to give you a number, 3,000.
Okay.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Other than partnering with businesses, what would the revenue stream be for this?
The revenue stream for ELARA comes primarily through the licensing fee, which is a yearly fee that these businesses would pay. That includes kiosk maintenance and a one-time purchase fee.
And then what's the partnership with the local waste management for removal, and how does that work?
That's something that I would probably negotiate with the affiliates. That could either be done through them, since affiliates could be places like malls or schools which already have waste management done. So it could maybe just go through that, or we could negotiate something else.
Where are you going to place the first one, the first kiosk, or the first few companies or locations?
The first kiosk I am thinking of placing here on campus. I need to beta test first before I can go out there and actually sell this to someone. So, but yeah, I'm hoping to start here on campus.
Have you thought about the thing about the businesses, which I think is interesting, and I could see businesses liking the brand rub of being ecologically together, so to speak.
Right.
But it would seem like it would take a lot. That's a lot of salespeople, right? It would take.
Yeah.
That's a lot of doors. In a weird way, it's the opportunity because it's so many. But there's been on the internet. I mean, there's companies like Foursquare and Groupon and those guys that it's taking a lot. It takes a lot of manpower. And so what I was wondering was whether you had considered, instead of going retail, going to municipalities and speaking to municipalities about setting up these kiosks as part of their waste disposal.
I had actually not considered that, but it's a very good point. I was only focusing on businesses, but I think the reason why I was focusing only on businesses is because it's a lot more localized than in a municipality, like you say.
Now, would the companies have to install new barcodes on the products, or can this ride on the existing?
They can just ride on the existing. I created a database that can store all of these barcodes, all of these existing barcodes, and the kiosk will just get them from the database. Okay. And a platform for barcodes to get into the database, users can do that. Go on the website, just enter it, and it will go in. And
yeah, out of curiosity, what percentage of the stuff that goes into recycling right now has a barcode? Will you capture 95% of it, and what happens with the 5% that?
Right. At the beginning, I'm planning on focusing on beverage containers, which are the most common item that I've identified people recycle and throw out and use. And most of those have barcodes. The ones that don't have barcodes, there is a future plan to add a feature to the kiosk where users will be able to identify items that don't have barcodes through a very quick and easy step-through process. So I think at one point everything should be captured. but at the beginning, I'm focusing on beverage containers.
Could I make one
Go ahead,
other
Terry.
comment, which is I think the smartphone application to me is the most compelling.
Yes.
And I actually, because you could develop a model, let's assume you can have the same ability to read it using a smartphone. You could have a model where you greatly reduce the cost of delivering the product, but you could get multiple partners, like big retailers, to be your partners early on. And in that sense, get a support. You still have to figure out the business model. I don't know how you get paid doing that, but I don't know how you get paid doing Twitter either. And it's,
Yeah.
if you get people using it and you get retailers behind it, that could be really interesting.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
No, the only one other question I was going to have is just back to just options. Is I get barcodes. Did you ever look into things like image recognition, where you could just show it and it would tell you what it would be?
I have looked into that. The reason why I'm sticking with barcodes is because it's a lot easier as a programmer to start working with that. Yeah, that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marcela.
Thank you.